We're in the Czech town of České Budějovice and getting ready for the Mattoni České Budějovice half marathon. And I'm with Susan Partridge of Britain Commonwealth Games marathon runner. She's coming back after a kind of break, she told me just before we began, from running the Commonwealth Games marathon last year. And so this is going to be an interesting, well, perhaps toe in the water for you. Your best is 70 minutes 32. I mean, you're an international runner for quite some time. Where does this stand in terms of your targets for the season, running here in České Budějovice?
Well, my main focus for this year is an autumn marathon. I'd like to try and sort of target the qualifying time for Rio Olympics if I can in the autumn. So the first half of the year is just really to get fit again. I had a bit of a break after the Commonwealth Games last year and the World Championships the year before that were two really quite big years for me. Lots of marathons, lots of races, not very much time off. So at the end of last year I had a sort of extended break just to try and sort of a mental break as well as a physical break. I'm getting a bit older now, so I can't sort of string marathons back to back and recover easily. So that was, what I did at the end of last year. And so the beginning of this year has just really been to get back into running, get the mileage back up again, try and get some consistency back. And sort of races like this, I enjoy doing half marathons. It's probably my best event. I have some bad ones as well. But I think, I'm really just trying to get back into the sort of racing mentality. And the focus is for an autumn marathon, but I've got time.
Your best, that 70 minutes 32, that was set in Bath. And for people who don't know it, west of England, Bath is a hilly city anyway. So this course doesn't have, I don't think, that many hills. But it's a new course this year, and it's supposed not to be that easy. Are you good? I mean, are you a runner who likes running up and down, undulating courses?
I'm going to contradict you and say it's a very fast course in Bath. You're right, Bath has a lot of hills, but they've somehow managed to create a course that has, I'm not sure what the new course is like, but certainly when I ran on it, there's one sort of little hill towards the back and actually, towards the far end of the loop. And then actually when you come in, you finish uphill. So the last mile, you go uphill. But I always think at that stage, if you're going well, a little hill's not going to stop you. If you're going badly, you notice it. But I do think it's quite a quick course.
Okay. Bath is an easy course, but this is something I'm sure that mass runners can relate to as well, because you're part of the British clubs scene. You're running for Leeds City, which is a very successful club. I mean, if you're running up and down a bit, do you think that helps you relax rather than having just completely flat course on the road?
Yeah, well, I think what I would say is fast courses to me, it doesn't actually matter what the course is like, unless they're ridiculously hilly or it's blowing a gale. The actual layout of the course doesn't matter too much. It's more about the atmosphere at the race. Like you say, just changes in scenery, things that break up. So you can break the race down into sections. You could have a perfectly flat course. And I've run on courses like this and not got on with them very well, where they're perfectly flat. But you run out, hairpin, and come back, and you're running along the side of the railway tracks, and there's some buildings on the other side. And I think then, like the sort of mental side starts to get the better of you because you've got nothing else to think about. So, changes in the course, like corners, as long as it's nothing too severe to slow it down too much. Actually, I think that's more important, is atmosphere and, sort of being able to mentally, overcome the course rather than worrying too much about the odd hill or the odd bend or
That's really interesting. I mean, I know you've only been here since last night, but we're in České Budějovice, and it's a very old town, historic, as in all the towns which hold the races in the RunCzech series. So you're certainly aware that you're in a different culture, aren't you? Even if you're just looking around. Oh
yeah, it's completely different. It's beautiful. I mean, if anyone, I guess lots of people won't have been here, but it's pretty from what I've seen. We're on the square, the race starts here, I think it finishes here as well. Really pretty, and just, you can tell that you're away from home, but it's a nice feeling, and it's very warm as well, which isn't so great for the race, but it's quite nice for doing tourist activities.
And you mentioned taking a break after the Commonwealth Games last year, and you're saying it does get harder stringing marathons, if not quite back to back. But the recovery, you have to allow for that. Again, for sort of the general runners, you think that's important to allow healing process, not just the standard 2 weeks or so, but to have kind of more fallow periods in your running year.
I think so, and I mean I've spoken to other sort of top athletes that also agree that sometimes you just got to let it go completely. Sort of ex-runners who've said they wished they'd just randomly in the middle of their their career taken a couple of months off, and that might have meant for a longer career. But certainly when you're running marathons, yeah, minimum 2 weeks to recover from a marathon. But I've quite frequently during my career even just sort of a standard taken a month, and when I say a month I mean absolutely nothing. I don't swim, I don't cycle, I don't sort of try and jog, I do absolutely nothing, and just kind of do other things with my life for a month. So I've done that a few times, and I think possibly that's because I've been running marathons for 10 years now. And I think that's helped. I think, there's a myth, and I believe it's a myth, that you've only got 2 good marathons in you, and that's possibly because people don't allow themselves to recover properly, so they're too tired and too crocked to do any more. But if you're careful, if you recover properly, if you're sensible about the way you train, I think you can do it. There's no reason why you can't do lots of good marathons.
Well, that's interesting advice, and I hope it'll be encouraging advice for those who, they're lining up in, as you will be, in the half marathon in České Budějovice, but for the whole RunCzech series and indeed the full marathon. So Susan Partridge of Great Britain, wish you all the best for the race on Saturday evening. Thank you.
Thank you very much.